Welcome to Daniel Reviews. I'm Daniel Goodwin, and today we are looking at the original Radrunner electric bike. Let's get into it. All right, so this isn't a typical review in that I didn't just get this and I'm putting it through its paces. I've actually had this bike for 4 years now, and I have put literally thousands of miles on it. So this is more about a review from a very long testing period, and going to go through all the things that I love about it and a few things that kind of still irritate me to this day. So electric bikes kind of had their big glow up right around the time of the pandemic. COVID hit, a lot of people were stuck at home and they wanted to do something where they could get out, and usually you're still allowed to take your bike out on trails and things. So that's when electric bikes just went through the roof and it just exploded. Before that, there wasn't nearly the growth that they had now. And the biggest name that exploded from that was Rad Bikes. This is the Radrunner, Radpower Bikes. They were kind of like the biggest name, and they just had the highest volume at the time. Still move a ton of electric bikes, and they have many different models now. They didn't have quite as many when I selected my Radrunner, but they really kind of helped define some of the scene. With the Radrunner, you get a lot of really interesting features, and it's why I still love this bike today, and probably would still recommend to anyone who asks, for a good starter all-around electric bike. Probably be high on the list. And the biggest things are that I love, we'll go through each one, but the versatility of it, the power of it, the range you can get from it, the simplicity of it, everything is it's just really easy to use. You don't have to put a lot of thought or even, dare I say, skill into it. You just get on it, you pedal, and that's all you have to do. Selling points for me was this rear bench. This was huge for me because I had 2 girls, and we wanted to take them along with us on the ride, and having some way for them to come along on the ride without having their own bike was essential. They were getting too big for a pull behind trailer. I did attach that briefly, but honestly that didn't hold up too long because they just outgrew the trailer. So then they were able to sit on this rear bench with these great fold down foot pegs, and it was, this can support believe it or not, this seat can support a full grown adult. So you could have 2 adults on this bike and still be able to power down the road. So very solid, well designed, and there's a few options you can do with this rear rack. It comes with full disc brakes, which are just kind of a nice premium option over the pads on the wheels, the old school mountain bike kind of thing that you saw when you got your Huffy from Kmart. These are actually the full disc brakes, which are a little bit of an upgrade. Wheel with the disc brakes, you can see how those tighten in around that disc, which is again a little better than the old pad style on the tire. The controls, it's very, very basic. Like, you literally hit this power button, hold it down until it lights up, and you can see it's here lit. It's got your battery range indicator, and then you got your modes here of how much power assist you're getting, from 1 all the way up to 4. Beyond that, it's pretty simple, and then you of course have a single light control, which turns on this little headlight. All in all, it's been a terrific bike for me for, again, 4 years. It does not come with an odometer. It's pretty basic in terms of accessories and luxuries, but I know how much I've ridden it. My typical ride is 20 miles. I do that about 4 times a week on this bike through the spring, summer, and fall. And then of course I obviously don't ride much in the winter here. But over the 4 years, like that's definitely put me well over 5,000 miles. I have put a lot of time on this bike and a lot of miles in. This back tire, I have actually worn the rubber off of it. That's how much I've done over the past 4 years. This is, it's time to replace this tire. I definitely need to. But I've definitely gotten my money's worth out of it already. With Radpower Bikes, one of the things that they tout a lot is that they have so many accessories that you can get for the bikes that they sell. And I did go with a couple. The big one, of course, is the back seat. Love that. And then I went for this interior storage here. And I will admit that I was not fully satisfied with my expense. I think it was $100, and just really don't think it's worth that at all. It's all plastic. You know, it's not very expensive. There's no latching system. It's just these rubber. Let's see if I can show these. Just these rubber like snaps that you have to do on. There's 3 of them. You do them in the front. If you just do 2, it'll stay on, but it'll look and feel wobbly. So don't love that. I would have liked to seen some sort of a latching system, a better latching system. It's pretty weak. The the cup holder that I thought was going to be so great is really small. Like, so unless you're just putting in like a soda can, most of your water bottles aren't going to fit here. That's pretty annoying and not helpful. The phone mount, it works, but it's very shallow. I don't know if you can see how shallow this is, but so your phone here, let me pull out my phone. Like, it winds up sitting pretty high, and even with this little elastic band, if you hit any bumps or anything like that, it's pretty easy to work its way out, which is just never made me feel comfortable with it. So all in all, definitely not worth $100. Would not recommend anyone spend $100 on this. It wasn't well designed. Also, if you have a larger phone, I actually downgraded my phone to the Pro, but if you have the Max, it will not fit in here. So it's just not very good versatility there at all. And there's better mounts. So this idea was great in concept. It just didn't work out well. I do love, you know, it's pretty deep storage. You got lots of room in there. You can put a lot of stuff down in there. So that's good. But apart from that, it's really not, it's just not worth the premium. It comes with a 48-volt battery, which is universal for all the Radpower bikes. So whether you get the Radrunner or you get the Rad City or the Rad, I don't know, 7, 9, whatever they have, you can all use them with this. And they come with a key, of course, that you can lock it so it can't be removed from the bike, which is a good anti-theft deterrent. Or you can, actually, I think I did that the other way. There we go. You can unlock it so you can take it out, and, you know, if you don't have access to charging in your garage or wherever, you can take it inside with you and charge it up. This bad boy, even without the battery, is a hefty, gosh, I feel like 50 pounds. I'll look it up for sure. Without power, you do not want to be pedaling this. It's a tank. So I guess in theory, someone could try to steal it, but without battery, they would not get very far or would not want to get very far with it. The only other accessory that I put on, this is not from Radpower, but I did like it just in case I ever needed it. I don't wind up needing it too often, but I bought a foldable bike chain, or equivalent of a bike chain, and it just kind of folds up and stores underneath the seat, which is nice. But if I am ever in a public place where I need to secure it, I can do that, and I've always got it with me. In terms of range, it can do, well, I was going to give you a number, but now I don't think I will, because it really depends on the terrain, right? Like if you're riding this guy in San Francisco with those steep hills, your range is going to be a lot different than if you're doing it, you know, on flat ground in the Midwest, right? Which is where I'm at. We do have some hills and things, but for the most part, it's a fairly flat ground, and so I get tremendous range on it. I'd normally do a 20 to 26 mile bike ride. I can do a couple of those without having to recharge it. Probably could even squeeze out a third one, almost a third one. So I'd say easily 50 miles on mostly flat terrain, or, you know, slight hills, slight climbs here and there. Easily 50 miles on that. The other thing is it depends on what speed or assist you're in. I almost always exclusively go in assist 2, which is like a good combination for me of hitting a nice speed and able to keep my legs always turning at a constant rate. But if you were to do it in 1, you could obviously extend your range significantly. Or if you went to 3 or 4, you would probably reduce your range somewhat, but you would be flying. I don't know if I've ever put it in 4, other than just to test it out. It's just, that's a lot of power on tap, and for just bicycling around, you just don't need it. Okay, probably what I love about this bike the most is actually what probably a lot of people would not like about it, and that is that it does not have any gears. It has a single gear, just like your old school mountain bikes of your childhood. It's a what do I want to say? It chose a good combination of power and thrust ratio. So it's a good compromise gear. And then if you're having trouble getting up to speed, you just use your assist, or if you want, the throttle. Honestly, that has worked so much better than any shifting system that I've used. And I've had many bikes, nice bikes, good bikes, some with electric, some without. But I don't miss that at all. I do not miss changing mechanical gears and waiting for that to clunk in. I don't miss any of that. Honestly, it's refreshing when I ride this bike. I love it. I mean, obviously I'm riding mostly for my health, so I do want to get a workout out of it. That's why I most of the time leave it in 1 or 2. But what I love is, again, I don't have to shift gears if I'm coming up a hill. If it's a little small hill and I don't want to, you know, lose too much momentum, I can always tap the throttle and just give me a little bit of boost with it. If it's a nice, long, extended climb, then I can bump up the assist to another level. But I can just keep pedaling at a nice steady motion, and that works really well for me in terms of, you know, my physical exercise. It has an interesting, I think it's called Dutch style kick stand. It allows you to actually raise the bike up off the ground, at least one side of it. So right now, obviously the front end is on the ground and the back end is up, so it allows you to spin the wheel freely, or you can adjust that a little bit and put the front up. It's not balanced that way if you kind of need to put a little weight, but it does help you to do that. It's not as easy to work as a regular kickstand, but it can be useful when you're working on the bike. All right, that's going to wrap up this review, this 5,000 mile review. Again, it's a great bike. Strongly recommend. If you're thinking about getting an electric bike, this is the one that I'd recommend to just about anyone.